Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the highly anticipated Safari Ltd 2019 Allosaurus. I've been waiting for this figure to come up for a while now. This was the last figure in the 2019 lineup to become available. It went up for order on their site on February 28th. I just received it yesterday. And you can tell I'm excited. I got the studio adorned in Allosaurus fossil replicas to celebrate the occasion. This figure retails for $14.99. You can order it directly from Safari. I'll put the link in the description. This should probably pop up on Amazon. Usually in a month or so, the new Safari figures pop up on Amazon for the regular retail price. And I'm sure if you're overseas, Everything Dinosaur should be getting these in shortly. This isn't the first Allosaurus to be made by Safari. They had a couple when they were doing the Carnegie line. The first one was a green and black Allosaurus that had kind of a boxy head. Then later on, there was a new sculpt Allosaurus with a more accurate looking head. That was repainted a couple times. They also had like a very weird looking yellow Allosaurus. And they had a pretty decent looking green one. So this new 2019 is a welcome updated version for the line. And with that brief history out of the way, let's take a closer look at this guy, starting with some measurements. He is about 10 inches long from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, and just under 3.5 inches tall, which puts him roughly in the 135 scale range. As you can see, the Allosaurus is done in a nice walking pose. The tail is held nice and high. The head is looking to the left, and this model balances very well. Safari has done a good job over the last few years of giving us nice bipedal theropod models. I was getting sick of seeing tripods. I don't like the poses on them, so I'm glad we are getting more models like this. And let's pull this guy in closer and take a look at some of the finer details, starting with the head. Now, right off the bat, the head isn't shrink wrapped at all. You can't see the anterorbital fenestra or the orbit, which is usually pretty common on theropod models, so this is great. Love it. The head crest and ridge are done in a nice maroon color. The head and most of the main body, it's almost like an olive green. The nostrils are painted black, and so is the ear holes. He does have lips. And let's get a look inside that mouth. He has a, I'm going to try to adjust my light to take a look in there. He has a very, very deep throat. I mean, it goes all the way back, which is really cool looking. The teeth, when you're looking from the front, they're a little sloppily painted, but they're so tiny, it would be very tough to get them done. Looking at them in profile, they look a lot better. Moving down to the hands aren't pronated, which would be a surprise since Safari has a great sculptor in Doug Watson that puts a lot of time and effort in sculpting these. The hands are done in black, and then it slowly goes back into that olive green with some black striping. Now, one thing I wish that was highlighted on this model is the thumb claw. In Allosaurus, which is this claw right here, thumb claw is bigger than the other two claws. And I kind of wish this claw right here was sculpted just slightly bit bigger to emphasize that. But it's not that big of a deal, it's just something I wish was done on it. The back of the figure, starting at the crest, is done in almost a black color that extends all the way down to the tip of the tail, sorry, not table. The scales are finely sculpted. It has a real nice feel when you're running your fingers over it. And underneath, we have a very, very generous cloaca slit. The legs are sculpted with some very strong muscle definition. Looks great. You see that big bulge of the calf muscle, big powerful muscles along the thighs. even from the back. Thighs are very thick on this model. And the feet are black, just like the hands. And it slowly goes back into that olive green color. You got the white striping along the thighs with that black highlighting. Same for the tail. The tail base is nice and thick on this. You know, on some theropod models, you know, they don't really get all how the leg muscles would attach at the base of the tail. It usually looks too thin. This looks great. Nice, thick tail base on this guy. And some more of that white pattern with that black highlight going all the way down to the tip of the tail. And let me just go back to the head for 1 second because I forgot. The eye is also painted the same color as the crest with a black pupil. Looks really, really nice. Got a little bit binocular vision with the sculpt. This is a really, really, really great Allosaurus figure. I absolutely love this. This is my favorite of the 2019 lineup. So I'm going to take out a few other Allosaurus figures I have, compare them to this guy. And here is the Allosaurus compared with the Papo Allosaurus. Papo actually has a repaint of this coming out relatively soon. This is one of my favorite Allosaurus models. I mean, obvious flaw on this is that the hands are pronated. I kind of wish that they could have went back and resculpted the hands for the repaint, but whatever. It is what it is. I do really like the look, of the Safari Allosaurus. It is definitely up there with my favorite Allosaurus model on the market. And the only other Allosaurus toy I could dig up, I have like the Carnegie collection stuff, but all that stuff is boxed up and I have no idea where it is right now. This is the Mattel Jurassic World Allosaurus, which is not meant to be accurate in the slightest. It is more of a kid's toy. Look at that little... And I got a few other models to compare that with. Some Jurassic contemporaries to go alongside this model. Let's get those out. Here it is with the 2019 Safari Stegosaurus. These two look really nice together. They scale really well. I used a lot of reallys in that one. They look very nice together. And here it is with the other 2019 Camarasaurus. These two look great together. Can get some nice dramatic diorama scenes with these two models. And here it is with the old Safari Apatosaurus. The Allosaurus is obviously too big. Safari doesn't have a scale for their line, so their models, some can scale well together, others don't, unless you want to consider this a juvenile Apatosaurus. And here it is with the, speaking of juvenile Apatosaurus, here is the Papo juvenile Apatosaurus. These two look great together. Get that same dynamic pose as you would with the Camarasaurus. And here it is with the Safari Diplodocus. I think this is the 2017 one. And last but not least, here it is with this beast of a figure. So big I can't even get like half of him in the shot. The Carnegie Diplodocus. And these two scale fantastic with each other. And here's a nice group shot of what I've collected so far from the 2019 lineup. There's a couple figures I didn't pick up. I didn't pick up that Tyrannosaurus that came out, the Spinosaurus, and it's not a Postosuchus. I just can't remember the name at the moment. And I didn't get a chance to show off the Allosaurus replicas I had here. This is a thumb claw from an adult Allosaurus. And this is the Dentry that I have. This is a really big cast. Messing up my lighting. You can see the how the teeth are growing in. Right here, got a tooth erupting out of the jawline. And this is a 1/4 scale Allosaurus skull that my uncle got for me years ago. He actually went out to Dinosaur National Monument and picked this up for me, and this is really nice. Real heavy too. So, my thoughts on this Allosaurus, I think it's fantastic. This is my favorite of the 2019 lineup. As soon as I saw this figure announced, I knew I wanted it. I highly recommend picking this figure up. The only flaw on it is what I said earlier. I just wish that thumb claw was a little bit bigger, but it's a minor nitpick. This is a fantastic Allosaurus, highly accurate, looks great with the rest of the line. So I want to know what you guys think. What's your favorite out of the Safari 2019 lineup? Let me know in the comment section, and thanks for stopping by and checking out the review. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.